More than 5,000 years ago, mysterious teachers known as the Learned Ones lived and walked among the peoples of the ancient world. Traveling between the great civilizations of Sumer, Egypt and many others, they shared knowledge, wisdom and the foundations of civilization itself. In later centuries these extraordinary teachers would be remembered, revered and worshipped as gods and goddesses all over the ancient world. One such teacher was Inanna, mistress of the great temple school of Uruk. Among her students were 7 gifted young priestesses, each born with the rare genes that gave them the innate ability of magic. Recognizing their extraordinary potential, Inanna sent the 7 priestesses west across the deserts to Memphis, the capital city of Lower Egypt, where they were to seek out another of the learned ones. Aset, Queen of Heaven, Mistress of Magic, Guardian of Ancient Mysteries. For 3 long months they journeyed across the unforgiving deserts towards a future they could scarcely imagine. At last they reached their destination and presented themselves before the great teacher. Under Aset's guidance, the 7 priestesses undertook 40 months of intensive training in her mysteries. They mastered healing, wisdom, discipline, spellcraft, and the hidden arts of magic. Most sacred of all these teachings were the 72 words of power. Common words given immense magical strength by Aset herself that formed the foundation of every spell the order would ever cast. To preserve their secrecy and make them easier for the young priestesses to pass on to the next generation, Aset translated the words of power into Sumerian. When their training was complete, the 7 priestesses founded a new order, the Daughters of Aset. They also established Egypt's first mystery school, ensuring that the mysteries of Aset would endure for generations to come. As centuries passed, new temples and mystery schools appeared throughout Egypt. The order flourished. Its influence grew. And generation after generation of young sorceresses attended the schools of Aset to learn her mysteries. Over time, the unique abilities of the Daughters of Aset came to the attention of pharaohs, nobles, and influential figures throughout Egypt. As their reputation grew, a pharaoh called upon the Daughters of Aset to investigate an evil organization whose schemes threatened others and had proven impossible for normal investigators to uncover. To aid and protect the priestess, the pharaoh assigned one of his finest warriors to accompany her. Using her unique magical abilities, the priestess uncovered the conspiracy, bringing to an end the organization and its nefarious scheme. This was the Order's first ever assignment, but it would not be their last. Indeed, fighting evil in its many manifestations became one of their most important functions. From this moment on, every newly initiated Daughter of Aset chooses an attendant, the two forming a lifelong partnership that will endure for the rest of their lives as they undertake assignments together. As the centuries passed, Egyptian civilization gradually weakened. When Greece eventually overthrew Egypt, the worship of Aset traveled west with soldiers, merchants, and seamen returning home. As her worship spread throughout the Hellenistic world, Aset was renamed Isis. And wherever her worship traveled, the Daughters of Aset followed. New temples, new mystery schools, new generations of sorceresses. When Rome later colonized Greece, the worship of Isis spread throughout the Roman Empire. From Britannia in the west to Persia in the east, and so did the influence of Aset until it stretched across the entire known world. Then came a time of great upheaval. In the 4th century AD, the Roman Empire in Western Europe fell and the peoples it had once ruled reclaimed their independence. And when the worship of Isis slowly faded from history, many believed that the teachings of Aset would be lost forever. They were mistaken. Hidden within temples and secret sanctuaries, the Daughters of Aset continued to preserve and teach the mysteries of Aset. Generation after generation of sorceresses enhanced their magical abilities through the ancient knowledge entrusted to the order. For centuries, those born with the gift of magic enhanced their abilities through families, mentors, and local traditions. But during the Dark Ages, as schools, monasteries, and centers of learning began to appear, the magical world also adopted a more organized approach to teaching its young wizards and sorceresses. So it was that, during the 7th century, the first magic school was established, and many others soon followed throughout Europe and beyond. These institutions became the new recruitment grounds for the Daughters of Aset. Centuries later, fear of sorcery and those who possessed magical abilities spread across Europe. And those blessed with the gift of magic faced imprisonment, torture, and death as the witch trials and persecutions followed. For the first time in its history, the Daughters of Aset themselves faced extinction. Gathering at Château Montbrun in France, the high priestesses from every temple made two decisions that would ensure the survival of the Daughters of Aset and fundamentally change the way their order would operate from that day forward. The first, the number of temples would be reduced to one in each country where the order existed. The second, the order would disappear from public view. Using powerful magic, the high priestesses concealed the temples that remained behind powerful enchantments, hiding them from the non-magical world. The great concealment had begun. To those who belong to the magical world, including the realms that exist far beyond the boundaries of our Earth, the Daughters of Aset had never vanished, but remained legendary. Feared by some, revered by many, forgotten by none. Even among the small number of non-magical individuals occupying influential positions within governments, intelligence agencies, law enforcement organizations and private institutions, knowledge of the order survived. For there remained threats that could only be overcome through the unique abilities of the Daughters of Aset. Though hidden, the order never ceased to exist. The magic schools continued to be where the Daughters of Aset selected only the most exceptional young sorceresses, inviting only those who achieved 100% in their final examinations to become acolytes. After successful completion of the 40 months of training into the mysteries of Aset, the acolyte would be welcomed into this ancient order and follow a path that had remained unbroken for more than 5,000 years. 1 week before her final initiation, each acolyte chooses an attendant. From 30 young men who have successfully completed 3 years of intensive military-style training, only one will be selected. Using ancient magic, the acolyte delves into the character, memories, and nature of the candidates before making her choice. The chosen attendant will serve beside his priestess for the rest of his life. Protector, companion, partner, friend. Today, the mission of the Daughters of Aset remains unchanged, investigating and closing down evil individuals and organizations in both the magical and non-magical worlds. A small number of carefully selected influential individuals within governments, intelligence agencies, law enforcement organizations and private institutions continue to call upon the order when they encounter threats beyond the reach of ordinary investigation. Dangerous people, hidden conspiracies, rogue sorcerers, ancient evils, criminal organizations operating beyond the reach of the law. When conventional methods fail, the Daughters of Aset investigate and suppress, and when necessary, bring these threats to an end. Hidden from everyone outside the magical world. Unknown to history. Working from the shadows. For more than 5,000 years, the Daughters of Aset have preserved the mysteries of Aset. Passed down secret knowledge. Adapted. Survived. Investigated and fought evil in its many manifestations. Endured. And their story continues.